Hello everyone, welcome back to the Whitewood Auto YouTube channel. And what we have in here today is a 2009 Saturn Aura, I believe. It's got a 2.4 and it's in here for a cranks but no start. But you can see inside the car, they have a fuel pump. Now let me see, I believe they said the fuel pump was replaced, but it still didn't start. Let's see, yeah, so this box is empty. So they have put a fuel pump in it. And it doesn't start still. Let me let it crank here for you. We can hear a fuel pump running back there. So we're not 100% certain as to what the issue is right now. As we always start, we're gonna check and see, is there oil in the vehicle? It looks clean. And you know how I feel about, oh, let me see, we didn't get that on camera. And I'm always skeptical to see a car that's been sitting for months that has perfectly clean oil in it. So let's grab our scanner, let's read some codes and go from there. We got this code right here, 107. I don't believe this is stopping us from starting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of go a little bit old school here and try to carefully add some brake parts cleaner to the intake and see will it fire up, because that will let us know if we have a fuel issue or not. So let's do that. So we sprayed a small amount of brake parts cleaner in there. Now let's see, will it kick over if we crank it? Oh. And that is a positive sign. So that lets us know that we have a fuel issue. So for whatever reason, we are not getting fuel up here. So we have a test port, so we're gonna pull this test port off, hook up a fuel gauge, command our fuel pump on, and see what happens. So we got our fuel gauge hooked up there. Now, let us go, and we should be able to command the fuel pump on through our scan tool and see does the pressure rise. Output controls and then fuel pump relay on off. So let us toggle this on. And we have 50 psi of fuel pressure. So let's see, will it crank up here? So let's double check what our spec is to see what the issue is. So our fuel pressure spec is 50 to 60 psi. That is what we actually have. So something is going on. So maybe we need to raise this vehicle up and take a look at where that fuel pump was replaced. So I wanted to get a look underneath, because if they just put a fuel pump in it, I wanted to see how that looks. And you see, it's got plenty of signs of shady mechanic in here. I don't get why why isn't this plugged in? Like it's right. Why wouldn't you just plug it in? Okay. It doesn't. I mean, it looks like it may have had the tank out. I'm not certain. This fuel neck hose definitely looks like somebody was working on it. So does that clamp right there. But yeah, hoping they put a pump in this thing and just didn't lie and say they did. The pump's definitely coming on. So let me let it down and we're gonna talk for a second. So we have our relay tester in, the key is on. So now the fuel pump should be running. I hear it running. Now let's go up here to our gauge and see what kind of pressure we have. So we got almost 60 PSI. So let's see, will this thing start up? It wants to start. Let me hop inside here. So let's crank it. And she's not starting. Well, we know if we give it fuel, it will start. Okay, so we know we have good fuel pressure. We have 60 pounds of fuel pressure. But another thing, when we spray carb cleaner down the throttle body, what we're doing is we are also bypassing the fuel injectors. So we need to make sure if we have injector pulse. So we've put a annoyed light inside one of our injectors. Then I'm going to go inside the car and crank it over. And then if we see that thing flash, we know that that is correct. So let me zoom in on our annoyed light there. Okay, we'll go crank her up. Now, I think our annoyed light may have went out of focus, but re-secure it there. And I'll crank it again after I turn these wipers off. But we do not have a flashing annoyed light. So that is a problem. So now what I'm going to check is see, do we even have power at our injector? Let me grab a test light here. So we will go to battery negative, then battery positive, and it is lighting up. So on one of these sides we should have power, and we do not have power. I can see that that one has been fixed before. Let me take a look there and see, do we have any kind of power there? You can see how we got a whole, oh wait, this came unplugged. How did that, hold on, wait. That's not plugged up, and that goes to our injectors. How in the world did that happen? Huh. So we got that plugged back up. Wait, so let's try this again here and see, because that's our injector plug right there. So if that isn't plugged in, you definitely won't have injector pulse. So it's running. Hallelujah. Let me cut this thing off. So you gotta be kidding me. That was the problem the whole time? Is that, this is not, so this connector, which is our injector harness here, was unplugged. That is just ridiculous. So let me go ahead and let's put this thing back to the way it needs to be and see how will it run. So I got to put my air cleaner on here and plug my injectors back in, but let me do that. Okay, so hold on. So before I put everything back together, this is the connector that was not seated all the way. It looked like it was plugged in, but it wasn't. You can see this goes directly to our injector harness there. So somebody's fixed this once before, and yeah. Hallelujah there. So we will so we're gonna take our fuel pressure gauge off, put that cap back on there, and then put our air box back on and see how it runs. Hey, look, and I'll show you this too. This is the other end of that O2 sensor connector that just got melted away. I think I showed this down below. You can see how this thing, I mean, y'all would not believe the mechanics in my area. This is just simple. But man, this is great. That is great, we found that. So we have our air cleaner back on. Let us go hop inside and see how it runs. Oh wait, I forgot to put my relay back in the trunk here. Let me go do that for the fuel pump. Go back here, pull my test relay out and put the correct relay back in. I forgot about that. Okay, so now let's give this thing another try here. So she's running. She's not running too great. Let me open this door. So as you can hear, she is running. Sounds like it's definitely got a misfire. We will hook our scanner up to it to see what cylinder is misfiring. So I remembered that I forgot to plug this injector back up. So we will do that. And let me plug this back in. So she probably run a lot better now with all 4 injectors plugged in. Let's see. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is clear codes and let it run and then see how it is. So these are all the codes that are in it, and like I say, primarily a lot of these got set from us testing. So what we'll do is go ahead and clear all codes, engine off, key on, clear all codes, and then start it back up. So we've cleared all our codes, and the only thing came back was that oxygen sensor code, which it should be because the wires are completely melted. Seems to be running a lot better. So what we need to do is talk to the customer about seeing if they want us to fix that wiring or not. But the no start on this thing is fixed. The main cause was this culprit right here. It was not plugged back in. I guess maybe at some point in time somebody did an injector pigtail replacement. As we can see, one of those was replaced, but that was not plugged in. We got fuel pressure, so we just didn't have injector post because it wasn't plugged in. So I don't really know if the car actually ever really needed a fuel pump or not, but that's not for me to say. They just brought it here to get it running. So it runs now. It runs fairly decent. So as of right now, our job is done. Thank you all for following along. White One Auto out.